Hey guys, just had a good idea to do a little extension onto the progress schedule Power BI dashboard, and that's going to be to pull in some commissioning information. Previously we had built it to look at mostly just construction, look at construction curves, progress, looking at the activities, movements in the activities, but now we want to maybe look at some commissioning, and let's go see how we're going to go do it. We just dive into our dashboard. This is what we had looked at before, and this is mostly just on a construction status. But we do have Primavera or just your schedule information, and so this is our construction activities. But we want to go build out our schedule with some commissioning activities, and maybe our original schedule, our baseline, might not have had all the commissioning. We built it in later as we get closer to the end of the project. And let's go see how that would look. First thing we need to do is you need to build your schedule. And in this case, dashboard, this particular one, is just fed by very simple data sets, and that is something that I think you do need to focus on in how you build your dashboard. Here we just have a simple Excel file. I've shown it in the past and how we actually pull this data in. We've got our current P6 data, your prior, and your baseline, and then we can just pull in using a bunch of lookups to that particular ID. In this situation, these are some IDs that we've added into our schedule, and I've actually only put detailed descriptions on 6 of them, and then we're going to use these to map into some commissioning items. Let's go look at commissioning items. You're going to have a commissioning database somewhere. This is an example using WinPCS. It's a pretty old example, but no matter what project you're on, you are going to have some system or detailed list of all your commissioning items. And in that, you're going to have some structure. You might have some systemization, some subsystems, some description, some tag types. So you need to sit down with your commissioning team and your planning team to figure out, hey, how are we going to link these together? Because you might want to have some custom links. It might not be just down to a subsystem, because there might be some items in one subsystem that from a schedule point of view, you're going to do together with maybe another system. Here, we're just going to do a mapping into tag. It's a pretty stupid example, but let's go do it. The idea is in your commissioning system, there should be a field for schedule ID. Now, here I'm just going to populate it using Excel. If we were really doing this in a production environment, you'd need this field to be pushed back into your commissioning database so that you'd be able to access it later the next time you get a dump of the status. But here we're just going to assume that you're going to get it, because obviously the first step is you need to map it, and mapping goes really easy in Excel. You should have some rules based, and our rules is going to be based upon tag. So we've got some cable, and go into our schedule. Cable is just this activity com1. So this will take just a couple seconds, but again, pretty powerful. So this is all our cable. That's our com1, and let's just drag it all the way down. Now you might have 100,000 items sitting in your commissioning database. When you set up some rules based like this, like my schedule maps into cable, you know that key exists in your commissioning database. It makes some mapping really quick, and if you have rules based, if someone adds an activity later on, you can still use those same rules to update your mapping. So the electrical equipment gets activity. This is just the schedule ID, com2. Just bear with me for a couple seconds. Again, this is something that I'm going to do in literally seconds. And you guys can also do it in seconds. It's just the power of just good data management, good structure, good setup of your information. Junction box, I might have done that under electrical as well. We'll go see, what did I do? Oh, I did, that's com4. So here's com4. Great. And we've got our mechanical equipment items. Same deal, that's just gonna be com5. This is again just the schedule ID, just mapping it in. And then piping, I've actually assigned it to both of these. And that's COM6. Okay, so we've now built out our schedule to include some commissioning items. We've now added a new data set that we've actually called this table that now includes all my commissioning items, all my tag items, the descriptions, and I've got them all mapped into a schedule ID. Let's pull this all into, not Primavera, let's pull this all into Power BI. So here's our Power BI. This is what we looked at before. We've seen it all. It's got our progress curves. We want to do a duplication of this all activities file. And first of all, let's make sure that we've updated our schedule because we've done some changes to our schedule. We want to refresh that data so now that it has those commissioning items in it. Let's go ahead and pull in our commissioning data by just going into Get Data. Again, this goes so fast, it's not even funny. There we go. That's our commissioning file that we've got. Again, you're going to need to set up some interface where you get a standard load once a week, once a day. You could set it up. That's just a table. I'll just load it all in. We want to be able to link it together. We've now got schedule ID sitting in our schedule table. And we've got a schedule ID sitting in our commissioning table. So now let's do some modeling. Didn't really go in this very much in some of the other videos, but this is really how you do integration in Power BI through modeling. And so we've got our schedule. I'm going to find our schedule ID. There we go right there. And we've got our new data set, which is our table commissioning. And it's got a schedule ID that's blank. Very interesting. I'll have to go look to see if we missed any items in our table. I might not hit save. I don't think I hit save on it. We put them all in. Let's just put save. Stupid me. That's it. Refresh on this. Okay, so I'm confident it works there. We do want to do a duplicate. I want to keep this page for my construction. You can look at our filters. And we know that in that WBS field I've used commissioning. So now this is excluding those new items that we've added. When we do a duplicate of this page, we're just going to swap that around to only include commissioning. And there we go. There's all our new commissioning items that we've added. And we can, let's go, the commissioning status report. I'm not going to worry about a lot of the details here. Now, we do know that this information, that these two tables are linked together. So the first thing that we want to do is actually pull in some count information. So for a particular item, we want some count of how many tests and how many tests are completed. So let's just go into our table. This is what's really nice about this, because now that you've got the information linked, right now this is just pulling off of schedule, but you can also pull in some commissioning. I know that my unique item is my tag number, so maybe right after activity description, I'm just going to pull that in there. And right now this is duplicating everything. I don't want to duplicate everything. I just want to count that field. So I just go here. Yeah, I just want to count it. Great, there we go. And this is count of tag number. You can just say, well, let's rename it. Rename. This is number tests. Easy. There we go. Now, how many have we completed? Well, on that one, I actually do know that in this particular database, if it finishes the clear date, there we go, clear date, that would there'd be a field in there that would say it's cleared. And so I want to do that, chang, and same thing, I just want to count. Great. So I know that on my cable commissioning items, we had 680 and we've completed 675. This is done in, I don't know, what, 5-10 minutes? And we've already pulled in all this good metric information But now we can even go a little further, not just get the metrics. I want to see those items. So I'm just going to pull this up. Obviously, you'd be able to scroll. I didn't show the WBS structure. You could actually, these are linked into a WBS structure. So this is the 1100 items. Those would be your 1200 items, 1300 items, 1400 items. Again, and all these commissioning items should be linked to some test sheets. In this example, I've only done a couple for this one area, 1100. But we actually want to see the items. So let's go pull them in. I'm just going to do a copy of this table. I'm just going to bring it down. We can actually copy this across too. We actually want to see some little title. Let's just say detail items. Detail commissioning. Items. There we go. Right now, this is only showing our schedule IDs. We don't need any of this information. Let's just go delete it all. Cool. Let's pull in a tag number. There we go. Let's pull in a tag description. Great. Let's go see the cleared date. We actually want to see when this particular item finished or not. There we go. We can clean it all up, pull it across. Great. So on our electrical equipment, let's go see what item is not done right there. Some wind monitor. And again, this is some really old dummy data, but still you can see the power that I've immediately created this just says duplicate of all items. We can just say commission details. You can link that in, and same as you can just click anywhere, click an item, see all the information. Every week you might get a new load, hit refresh, exactly where you want to be going with your dashboard integration. Now I've done the similar example in that integrated EPCM website, so kind of familiar with like how I would approach it. You guys can in your same ideas, but you might use a slightly different structure. Also with some integration, Jira links exactly the same way where we talked before, where maybe each one of these key schedule groups for your commissioning, you might want to have a Jira page to actually discuss some detailed interfaces. But yeah, that's how I would approach looking at some commissioning. Maybe I might want to pull in the start date. I don't need the prior. I mean, you could, all the information's in the tables. You can pull in whatever fields you want. Same thing on your detail items. We've got a lot of information that you're going to have in your commissioning system that you might want to display down here. You might not want to have the activity description here. It's just pulling in the same. This is from the P6 side of things, and then this over here would be from the commissioning side of things. That's how you do your integration. That's how it would look in a system. But yeah, thanks a lot for the time, and definitely, if you like these, don't know where else I can go with the Power BI, but I think some people like looking at Power BI and what you can do with it. So happy to oblige. If I think of anything, I will add and show. But really, I think my focus is going to be on that EPCM integrated website going forward. So thanks a lot, guys, and have a nice day. Subscribe to the videos and enjoy.